The Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast.
Is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. Hosted by three BFFs, Daddy Diwali, Chipotle Bear, and Bubble Boy and Seven.
And new intern, X-Bacon Gamin'.
This is Cortana. And remember, don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it. As always, Spartans, see you online.
Oh, hello. Daddy Diwali here, and welcome to The Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. This week, we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite topic with the ABK acquisition. We're going to talk about the Sony State of Play, talk about some Atomic Heart, Forza Horizon 5, and games coming to Game Pass for March. But joining me, as always, first is the assistant to the co-host, Chipotle Bear. Chipotle Bear, how are you?
I'm okay, man. I'm honestly real tired. I mentioned at the end of the last show that I had a short and sweet surgery last Friday, and it went fine. Everything's great, but still a little sore, and I hadn't slept well. And there's been something in the water at school. I don't know what it is, but just some bizarre things happening. Kids messing up bathrooms. Not a TikTok challenge or anything like that, but just it's been a long week, man, despite it being a short week with President's Day on Monday. So happy to be here. Happy to talk about some of the really crazy news we've had this week in the gaming world, and excited for Friday tomorrow.
Yeah. Jose, were we doing this kind of stuff when we were in school?
I mean,
or was it not us? It was other kids probably, because we were the good kids.
I like to believe that, look, it's every generation has kids that like to test the limits. It just looks different, right? Like you think about Grease as a whole movie about kids in the 50s that were the rebels, and there's some still love there. And for the record, I love my kids too at school, even the ones who cause issues. But it's just, man, it just makes for a long week when it's like you can't sit down and get any work done. So I'm sure there were kids. I like to believe they weren't us, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
And joining us as always is the intern to the assistant to the co-host, X-Bacon Gamin'.
Fellas, that RZA show at the Symphony was wildly freaking awesome. It basically was, he showed 36 chambers, and then the orchestra played like the theme or the building suspense music, and then he came in and rapped a few times, and I was sitting there watching people who were season ticket holders for the symphony, and he's singing Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Beep With. And I'm just looking at all these 70 and 80-year-olds going, what are you doing here? This makes no sense. But it was absolute fire. And so Cypress Hill's coming next month. I think we're going to go see that too, because it's just that
insane in the membrane.
It's just the way they can add the orchestra with, and it works. I didn't know what to expect from this show, but it was absolute fire.
Love it. Bacon, have you watched Wu-Tang American Saga on Hulu? Have you watched that? I just started it. I'm loving it so far.
Dude, that Wu-Tang, man. I'm more of a West Coast rap guy, but Wu-Tang has a special place in my heart.
Love it.
All right. Well, we'll get more concert updates from Bacon here in the next following couple of weeks. I already told you I'm going to see Third Eye Blind again, Bacon, at the Colorado Springs Symphony Hall for an acoustic set. So I'm excited for that. Just because we're going to get a date night. My sister, shout out to Sarah, is going to come watch the kids for us. So
nice.
Very excited just to get that time away. So guys, let's jump into some TNC shout outs, Jose. First shout out goes to Deja Vu M33 over on YouTube. He wrote back on our last video. Unfrosted strawberry Pop-Tarts toasted are money. Jose, what do we say to that?
I don't have anything.
Idiot. You changed. Yes, thank you. There we go. Okay, correct. 2, story mode Dead Space. Still a great playthrough. Yeah, I agree. Have fun. I'm sure it was fun just annihilating those guys. And 3, Mass Effect is gonna be a tough one to keep trekking through. I hear you, Deja Vu, but you got to stick to it. I'm telling you, it pays off. The one is the worst when it comes to combat. Just just blow everything away, upgrade to that HMWPV, whatever weapon, get all of those, and then just blast people away. It's a little tough, but you can honestly, you can stick to the main story, but some of that side stuff carries through the other game. So, Bacon, would you like to say anything?
You'll be rewarded in literally the first 15 minutes of number 2. Like I assure you, that work will be rewarded.
Yeah, I'm trying. You got it. I'm trying to tell them there's parts in the first, the story and the decisions made. It has to be played. You cannot just go to the second one. So hopefully I can keep working on him. He's a tough sell sometimes, but I think I can do it.
Yeah, don't worry. Diablo 3 or Diablo 4. What is it? Diablo 5? I don't even know. It's not going to be here until June. So we got some time. Next shout out goes to Crypto the Dog 116. And he wrote on my setup video, which, gentlemen, over 1,000, almost over 1,200 views. We've got comments. We've got a lot of new subs. So he wrote on there, nice setup. For sound, consider the Enclave Cinehome line completely wireless surround. I have the Pro and it sounds awesome. Only power cords and no wires for that clean look. So thank you so much for that suggestion, Crypto. I still need to look those up, but I'm assuming this just sounds expensive.
How much do you think they cost, Dan? I just looked them up right now.
$5,000.
They are $1,400 for the Pro line. But they do look clean. I was
going to say,
they look rad.
That's reasonable. Maybe get a Black Friday sale. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Does it have Atmos?
Yeah, better have Atmos. I mean,
right,
have
for that price.
Better. I'll look it up.
I didn't look at the specs. I just looked at the prices.
Shout out Crypto the Dog, and then another shout out from that same video. It's your boy Molly. What kind of TV is that? Does it support 4K? And I wrote back and I said, of course. We only go big or go home on this channel, right, Bacon? We only go OLEDs. That is an LG C1 77-inch 4K 120 hertz VRR TV. And I gotta say, Jose, I didn't tell you this. I'll tell you now. I've been playing Elden Ring again, Jose, on PC on my laptop, going for the 1,000 out of 1,000 Steam achievements.
What build did you go with?
I'm doing a strength build. I haven't done just pure strength. These 2 hands with this like spiky bonk that this guy called it on YouTube. I was watching all these class videos. Guys, I gotta send you some of these videos. It's wild how fast you can get powered up. And I didn't even do anything crazy in the first. You can pretty much get set up in the first hour and a half. So very excited. But the main reason I wanted to bring that up, tying it into the TV, Jose, is I was playing on this monitor, right? This is a 4K 60. And I think this might have FreeSync on it, but I noticed some of the frame issues, a little bit of tearing, a little bit of stutters and stuff. But when I'm playing on the OLED, even at like 1080 or 14, man, it looks so good. And the VRR, I can see the smoothness paying off. So I'm a true believer in that technology. So
and Mally, if you want to hear that whole saga, because it was a saga, go back and listen to I think it was in September. There was a good month and a half run where Dan bought a TV every week and then returned.
No, guys,
every other week.
Because literally, my parents bought one of his literal TVs from Costco.
To be fair, that was an OLED, and I was waiting to get the price. And when I got the 77, shout out to BrandSmart USA and Best Buy for price matching, got the TV I wanted, size I wanted, the size I wanted at the price. Thank you.
That's what she said.
And last shout out, we've got a couple new subs, guys. We're approaching 100 subs on YouTube. Shout out to Terry Brown and Intense Robbie 1983. A good year right there, right around us, Jose, for subbing to us on YouTube. We're in the 80s now. We're approaching 100, boys, a milestone. All right, and I'll bring up the YouTube page to look at some stats on our viewership too as well. So good stuff there, gentlemen. Are each of you going to have your videos for February ready by the end of the month?
Oh yeah. I'm for sure going to have Callisto ready, and I'm hoping to also have Dead Space. I have all the footage ready to rock. I just need to finish the script and record. Okay. Again, I was a little busy last weekend, but I am planning on doing it for sure.
I am going to do one on Bloodstained Curse of the Moon too. A little quick review on that. Bacon hopefully will have his Hi-Fi Rush. The key is title and thumbnails. By the way, Jose, I've already got the thumbnail ready for this one. Okay, this one we're going to have. It's going to be T800 Phil Spencer shaking the hands of Doug Bowser. Whatever the one past 1000 is, Doug Bowser. It's shaking hands, and then we're gonna have crying Jim Rain T1000 in the background crying. Again, sticking with the Terminator theme. You see where I'm going with this?
That's a busy thumbnail.
Okay, Jose is muted. I believe he's saying that sounds like a great idea, Dan, but it's
No,
going to
I
take me a
said
little
I
bit
am
of
not a
time.
wizard, sir. I will do my best.
All right. So thank you so much to all these new subscribers, comments. We really do appreciate it. It helps out the channel so much. So thank you to everyone. Guys, let's jump into some Xbox news for the week.
News team, assemble!
Here we go, guys. We had a giant meeting of a bunch of, Microsoft out in Brussels, Jim Ryan's favorite spot, explaining the positivity of the Microsoft Activision Blizzard King acquisition. And we're just going to go over some of the main points that came from this. This is one of the first stories here, and this is coming from Christopher Dring over at gamesindustry.biz. Microsoft signs a deal with Nvidia, but is not close to a deal with Sony. So basically, I want to throw this over to Bacon. What's Brad Smith? What was his title? Sorry, Microsoft's. I think he's vice president.
CEO, yeah, or something.
I'll have to add this. But anyway, during all this, he explained some stats, and we're going to go over some big stats. But two of the big main stories was, one, Microsoft agreed to a 10-year deal to stream with NVIDIA's GeForce Now. Also, Jose, they paired up with Nintendo, signing a commitment, a legal binding document, I believe was the words there, for a 10-year deal to bring Xbox games to Nintendo. They clarified this is Call of Duty. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, does this mean we're going to get more Xbox games on Nintendo? They clarified, but maybe the potential is there. We don't know. And then I want to go into these stats, but let's start out with the GeForce Now. Bacon, what is this? I've heard of this. I know it's around. Can you explain it to me?
GeForce Now is basically a streaming service for Nvidia fanboys like myself.
So wait,
but
do you have to have an Nvidia GPU for this service?
I don't believe so, actually.
Okay, because my students play it on their Chromebooks at school.
They have 4080s and 4090. They're putting 4090s in the cloud. So yeah, I mean, basically, you buy the game and you own in the library. So Microsoft's not giving away the games or giving away Game Pass. It's if you already own a Microsoft product.
So if you buy, let's say, Call of Duty in the future through Steam, and you have NVIDIA GeForce Now, I can stream my game to any streaming device.
Right. So it's kind of like Stadia, but different and better than Stadia ever was, because you don't have to subscribe to channels and stuff like that. So you just basically, what I wish Microsoft would do with all of your owned games, allow us to stream all our own games on xCloud.
And Bacon, I believe they said that was coming potentially,
coming for a while.
Yes, which I would love to.
But what this does is it basically silences that part of the EU's complaint of Microsoft having a leg up in cloud. Microsoft going to get too far ahead in cloud. Microsoft's not going to let anybody else into cloud. It kills that narrative. Bam. Take our games, play our games. As long as you're buying our games, why do we care if you are paying Nvidia to stream your games to whatever tablet or whatever you have? So it's a big deal because when they introduced this, they were streaming the Call of Duty games, and then Activision and some other people got word of it, and they're like, "Oh no, shut that down."
Yeah, I heard about that.
I don't know how they got away with that because they own the game. And if they didn't offer a streaming option, either Activision or Microsoft or anyone else at that time, how can you tell someone not to stream a game they own?
Yeah, I remember hearing, I think Handsome Phantom was talking about how, or somebody, or maybe it was on Unlock, they were saying back in 2019, Activision pulled their games from GeForce Now, and now it's going to be back on there.
And if you weren't paying attention to Twitter today, this Christopher Drain gentleman had to reissue this hit piece article he wrote because Lulu Cheng basically took him to the woodshed and smacked him around a little.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he wrote one about her? Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, that. he said that she was live tweeting during the meeting and some tasteless memes and all that, and Lulu just lit into him. I actually started following her
Yeah,
today.
I did too. After
Yep.
I saw when she responded about like, why isn't she sound like an exec supposed to sound?
Exactly.
I'm like, I appreciated that.
She's like, this is my personal account. That's why. So,
and she can do whatever she wants for all I care.
Sand.
Jose, you had your hand up and then talked to me about Nintendo. Do you think that's a big deal?
So my question was actually for Bacon, and if you don't mind me, share Bacon. What do you pay for GeForce Now? Because again, some of my students, I literally have like at lunch, you can see them playing GeForce Now stuff on their Chromebooks from school.
Keep talking. I'll look that up. I had a 6 months of it free when I bought a GPU, but never took advantage of it.
Well, you looked that up. To Dan's point, I mean, so the other news that we got with the Nintendo thing was that like it was really started with Call of Duty, and there's some obvious questions about like fidelity and run performance on the current Nintendo console generation. I would imagine by the time that Call of Duty does come out on Nintendo, we're going to have something new, whether it's a Switch 2 or something else that hopefully will have some beefed up specs and stuff. But it'll be interesting to see if they create a light version of Call of Duty or if it's like the mobile version of Call of Duty that they port.
Like a lot of people are like, oh, how is this even going to run on Nintendo? I'm sure they're going to figure it out. It could either be, I mean, it would be the lowest of low possible settings. It might not look good, but it will have the same content. I remember that's one of the words that was in there. It was the same content parity. It might not have the same graphical parity at all, but you're going to you should be able to play all the game modes at 480p. Extra low settings on your Switch.
To be fair, I think it is a big deal because this, to the point that Bacon made about how that other move is dispelling the concern that the CMA had about them having too much of a monopoly in the cloud space. And look, no, we're literally partnering with other like rival competitors. It's the same thing with Call of Duty, because that's the other big argument that's really come out of the ABK thing, is that this Call of Duty franchise is too big. And that's why last week there was the whole thing about, well, they really just need to split up all of the deal and then they can let the deal go through. And everyone's like, that's not going to happen, man. They're not going to do that. And so this is another way to say, like, look, if Sony is complaining that we're keeping it solid, we're absolutely not, right? Like, we literally signed a deal with Nvidia. We just penned a deal with Nintendo, and we're trying to pen a deal with Sony. Legitimately.
Let's jump into some quotes here. This is coming from Jez Corden over on Twitter, from his direct Twitter account. He was there. He was front row up there with Tom Warren out in Brussels. At a press conference today in Brussels, Microsoft President Brad Smith just announced all Xbox PC games will come to competing cloud service Nvidia GeForce Now. Quote, Nvidia now supports this deal. Microsoft describes how Sony beats Microsoft Xbox market share globally to the tune of 75-25. Let's go jump into more of these numbers over on Benji Sales. He was tweeting about this as well. Benji said, PlayStation to Xbox market performance revealed by Brad Smith from Microsoft today. In Europe, it is 80% to 20% in favor of PlayStation. Let me say that again. 80% of Europe plays on PlayStation over Xbox. Is that a majority? Is that a dominant what am I the word I'm looking
monopoly?
for? Monopoly in Europe. I would say so. In Japan, we all know Xbox has never done anything in Japan. 96% to 4% in favor of PlayStation. Global. So I'm assuming this is not including the United States, even though when I think of global, I would think everyone's included, but I'm assuming no, and they're going with everyone but the United States in here, because I'm pretty sure in the United States it's way closer to like 50-50. In the globally, 70% of people who game on console between Xbox and PlayStation are playing on PlayStation, while 30% are on Xbox. End of 2022 sales, 69% to 31% in favor of PlayStation. Okay, and then he also had a current install base estimation: PlayStation 5, 32 million, Xbox Series, somewhere in the low 20s. Gap between the two is somewhere around the 10 million mark. And going on back to Jez on his tweets on the summary, with Nintendo, we're bringing Call of Duty to 150 more million consoles. I can't believe that's so many Switches out there. And I don't know what else he made. 150 more. Switch hasn't sold 150 million, has it? What else? What else are they including?
Right,
no way. No way. Anyway, keep going with this. Brad Smith also said They literally have the document for Sony to sign to get Call of Duty for 10 years here, ready and eager for dialogue with Sony, but they have no agreement yet. And then the last thing, as we mentioned before, maybe they can not buy Call of Duty and segment that off with the deal and said, we don't think it's reasonable or realistic for one part of Activision Blizzard King to be carved out on the topic of the CMA's suggestions. And then they, Jez closed off with the future is cross-platform, great for developers, innovation, and prices, said Brad Smith. Guys, we threw out a lot of numbers there. Does anyone want to take a stab at something? Right, Bacon, go ahead. What stands out to you right there?
Real quick, to get back to the last topic, GeForce Now, there's a free option which gives you 1 hour game lengths for free, which is okay. Priority is $9.99 a month. You get 60 FPS at 1080p resolution, 6-hour game sessions. Then their ultimate tier, $19.99 a month. You get a 3080 in the cloud, 8-hour game lengths, 4K resolution at 120 frames. So that's not even a very good service, if you ask me. That's almost as bad as Stadia. But I guess it works for them. It's the second leading streaming platform right now, because Luna's not even in the conversation. So that's that. I have no trouble believing any of these numbers that Brad dropped on the market share. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why even mention Japan at this point? 4%. That's pretty laughable. So when you think about signing a contract with the Nintendo, there's no way that outdated hardware could run Modern Warfare 2 that we're all currently playing, right? So that has to hint that they're at least looking at next gen hardware or Switch 2, because I can't imagine Microsoft would be able to dumb that game down far enough unless it's playing through the cloud. So
or we don't know if there's going to be a Switch 2, a Super
right,
Switch.
It has to be this. It has to be a Switch 2. There's no way.
And they said 10 years. They didn't say when it's going to start. Right. So I mean, it could be in a couple years.
So I'd have to imagine the Switch is coming. It's and then there we go again, just killing another narrative, saying, "Hey, there's 150 million more people. We've promised it to Steam. We've letting it on GeForce Now. We are promising it on Nintendo. Here you go. Sign this document." And then the best is all the people that are saying, PlayStation's never going to sign that and the deal can't go through. No, we don't need PlayStation's approval for this deal to go through. We need regulator approval. And as long as Microsoft's putting the good foot forward and showing a want or an ability to service many more people, it doesn't matter what Sony says.
Jose, before I throw it over to you for closing thoughts on all these numbers and whatnot, what if the deal does go through and Microsoft and Sony never sign that 10-year deal? What do you think Microsoft would still offer that? Or would they just kind of be like, oh, we'll just go on it year to year, or we'll just kind of go, what do you think they would do? Would they be the bigger person and say, we would still like to offer you this 10-year deal?
So no, I don't think they'll offer a 10-year deal. I think that they won't offer any deal. However, I still think that they'll release it every year for the time being, because again, it's like Bacon just made the gesture. This is really about money, right? And at the end of the day, Microsoft needs to recoup the cost because they're potentially about to drop $70 billion. And so an easy way to help chisel away at that is to release it on as many platforms as you can, so that they can make back that money. And it is also, don't get me wrong, it's also a show of good faith, right? It is a little bit of being the bigger person of like, look, man, we weren't lying about this. We weren't saying this just to get this deal and then turning into this evil corporation. We were legitimately trying to make it good. The other thing I would say is that in that Benji Sales tweet, there was also a piece where they mentioned that talking about like those numbers, the 80-20, the 96-4, those aren't fake or anything, but they're across all generations. So like, remember how we've talked about many times that like the PS4 era was like very, very strong compared to the 360 era, right? Or, I'm sorry, to the Xbox One era. Like all of that is still included in that as well. And I'm not trying to like lessen it. It's still, those are still very powerful numbers, but just to be very clear and transparent, like we're talking about that generation too. And it is very clear that the PlayStation 4 sold way more than the Xbox One. So, in the end, man, I still think, like Bacon pointed out, that they're really just, they're playing this smart, right? They're not turning into like a petulant child. They're not just whining. They're saying, no, look, we're going to show you real numbers. We're going to be honest about everything. We're going to show good faith that we are trying to give this to Nvidia and Nintendo and every other player that wants a piece. I bet if Amazon asked for it, they would get it too. Right. And that's how they would hopefully still come out victorious in the end.
And then the way they would give more fuel to the fire is them then not giving it to Sony, and then their next acquisition comes up, and it's Bethesda 2.0 of them promising games and not giving it. They're gonna keep it on PlayStation regardless of the deal. They're just trying to grease the wheels of the regulators and the FTC to drop their suit, get the deal done. It's a non-issue.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's like we've said for months now that it's going to be a function of, we have to get to the point where they're definitively either saying yes or no, and if they say no, then it's a negotiating deal. That's how that works.
And again, the main point of all this, though, always comes back to just one single franchise. I don't see very many arguments about Diablo 4, and I don't even know what else Activision is. StarCraft,
I'm willing to bet all Activision games stay multi-plat, except for maybe new IPs. They release another Crash, they're just gonna keep Activision as a third-party publisher, which we get everything in Game Pass. This is about building content for Game Pass. It's literally all it is.
I agree. All right, guys, let's jump into the next story. And speaking of Sony, Bacon's favorite event from today, the new State of Play that happened today on February 23rd, 2023. Excuse me. Guys, we saw Destiny 2 Lightfall, Goodbye Volcano High, Baldur's Gate 3. Apparently, that's a big deal. I don't know. Chia, Naruto Cross Boruto, Ultimate Ninja Storm, Street Fighter 6. The thing for me that stood out, I don't even know if I passed it, was Resident Evil 4 trailer and Suicide Squad. But I don't know if everyone watched it, but I know Bacon has some thoughts. I'm not a big VR guy, you guys. I'm just going to straight up say, when they were showing that, I actually watched PS Trophy Room's live react as I was working out to the State of Play, and I'm not sold on VR. I have no desire to sit in my chair or couch and play a VR game. I'm sure once I try it, I'd be like, whoa, this is so cool, but doing it long term, not for me. What stood out to me, like I said, was the Resident Evil 4 trailer. Man, Jose is going to get a freaking 10 out of 10 on that one, and he's going to win it all already just because of that. And he's still Spider-Man, so we're done. It's already over. Bacon in the fantasy draft is screwed because he's going to get one that doesn't release. I don't think Tekken 8's coming out this year because we saw that Mortal Kombat's supposed to come out this year too, along with Street Fighter, so I'm probably screwed on that. Wish we could pick up free agents. But anyway, Bacon, your thoughts on this? I know you watched it all too. Jose, did you see the Justice League stuff or no? Did you not watch any of it?
No, I came home and watched the Justice League stuff because that was the most interesting.
Okay, let's save Justice League talk for the end since that was the big part of it. So Bacon on the other parts of the conference. Anything there get you excited for your PS5?
Well, strangely enough, Destiny 2 Lightfall's got me intrigued. So Dan,
speaking of, I got an entry right there, Bacon. I was listening to what is it with Ains?
Season Gaming
podcast. Thai guy, he went to a preview event, Bacon. He is very concerned about Lightfall. He's like, I do not think this is going to be good. He's like, it seems very generic. It seems like a stopgap to fill in because they're supposed to end all of Destiny with the next expansion, but they're like pushing that out. So this is kind of like in between. Bacon, I'm saying right now, I don't know if we're going to be needing to that $100 for the Destiny expansion. So I'm just warning you now. He's a diehard Destiny guy. Him and Cog, I'm pretty sure they have a podcast together that they're doing just for Destiny, and he is very concerned with Destiny 2 Lightfall. But go ahead.
I've been scouring the internet since this, and there's really no reference of Baldur's Gate coming to Xbox. I hope this is more, hey, Sony is money hatting. Yes, Sony is money hatting yet another game that has no business just being on that platform. And I will not buy it on PC. I will wait to buy it till it comes to Xbox, and then I'll buy it on PC. Just show this developer or this publisher, this is just ridiculous. You can you can continue to gatekeep games like they're doing. It's maddening. Street Fighter looked good. Street Fighter always looks good. There's some scantily clad ladies here that fight. But other than that, to start out with 6 straight games in VR, have a whole event to cater to maybe 1 million people that bought PSVRs. Now, I'm not going to lie, the technology in that PSVR looks really, really good. And I've thought about it. Their big miss, of course, is not allowing it to work on a PC, because most high-end PC VR headsets are nearly $1,000 unless you're dealing with that meta crap with Facebook. Even put a store out there so we can buy your games and play it on our PCs. So I don't understand that decision. So good on the PSVR 2 crowd. They seem to really be enjoying it. The Gran Turismo with a steering wheel in VR looks really good. So if it ever goes on sale, I might think about copping it. But my big one here is Goodbye Volcano High. I cannot wait to play that. I'm glad that got so much time in the spotlight because it looks fire. That's as much sarcasm intended as humanly possible.
All right, Jose, did anything stand out to you, or do you want to just want to talk about Justice League?
Well, yeah, a couple quick things. And again, I don't know if you actually read the article from The Verge that we had in the chat that came to us from Ash Parrish, but it does say Baldur's Gate will release on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation all on August 31st. So it sounds like same day on all platforms.
Oh, it is.
That's what it says, at least in the article.
Where?
From The Verge, so.
Where?
It does say that on the bottom line, and Xbox. Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate was the one that I think looks the coolest. Like, I've always liked the Baldur's Gate games. I don't know, depending on what else comes out during that time, if I will really pick that up, but I do like that. I appreciate it. I am actually with Dan about the VR. I'm not against it. And I think for people that it's their jam, I would never yuck your yum. Have fun, man. I think it's very cool if it's what you're into. It's just not what I really want to do when I have my downtime, at least right now. I think this is a very clear indication by both the state of play and what's coming out that PlayStation really is kind of going all in on VR, because this is not the first iteration, right? They had the PSVR before, and it did okay, right? And you're right, Dan, it was a very niche crowd, but they didn't give up on it, right? They didn't say, oh, it's a one and done, we're never doing that again. They put kind of all bets in on the PSVR 2, and it does seem like it's pretty cool hardware. So I applaud that. I know that it's not wireless, and I know that that's a big contentious piece for a lot of people, is that you still have to be tethered. And I get it. I mean, it's still, if you want to live in the world of where we're like 1440 and we're running at high frame rates, like that's very hard to do wirelessly with battery and to do with fidelity. And so I think this is a little bit playing it safe to make sure that we can still get what it looks like. And I think it comes with like a 15-foot cord or something like that. So like, that's probably plenty, honestly, for what most people are going to need. I do think about some of those videos you see on the internet, though, where people are like running, and I could just imagine like pulling your whole PlayStation 5 down. Like, oh God, that would hurt so hard. Street Fighter, I kind of fell off Street Fighter after 3, so I haven't played a lot of the new kind of 3D ones. But again, I do have an affinity for some of the classic characters, so I hope it does well. And like Dan said, but I am so pumped for Resident Evil 4. But I have not watched the trailer. I refuse to watch any of the trailers because I know it's going to be awesome, and I just want to experience it.
I hear you, Jose. I didn't want to either, but I haven't watched any of the other ones, and so I was like, yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, dude. It's gonna be so good. It didn't show anything like crazy, but like it just looks so good, especially because you're such a big fan of 4. So, guys, any other? Go ahead.
Both IGN and GameSpot articles both say that it's
I'm wondering the Verge
PC
might not
and
have
PS5.
It right.
Yep, I think the Verge has it incorrect. This is a money hat.
Interesting.
For Baldur's Gate 3. Is this a new one, Bacon, or is this already out on PC?
I want to say it's already out on PC. Guess I could check Steam real quick.
Yeah,
but
anyway,
no, because it says it's releasing on PC and PS5 on the 31st. So I know I saw the trailer for it last year. So it's just shaking my head again.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out August 31st. Yeah. So
when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, Microsoft and Sony have taken 2 different routes. Microsoft focused on cloud. Sony is focused on VR. Who makes the right decision at the end of the day? I guess time will tell. And that's why Sony has no cloud infrastructure or ability to do this, to compete with GeForce Now or compete with xCloud. So they picked their lane, let them stay in it, and let us have Activision. That's it.
Bacon really wants Activision. We're not even talking about it anymore, but here he is bringing it up anyway, guys. Let's go on to the next story. We're going to go on to more Xbox focusing right now. We're going to talk about Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure. The official trailer came out today. Your Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure is here. Drive purpose-built rally monsters and conquer the rugged Sierra Nueva. Join 3 rally teams and attack Horizon's most thrilling routes ever in Horizon Rally and Horizon Races. Feel the intensity of massive dust trails and deformable sand roads in 10 new cars and experience bursting flames of anti-lag. Explore dramatic craters, an abandoned quarry, and an entirely smashable palm forest. So this is coming out March 29th, 2023. So in just about a month, we're jumping back into Forza Horizon, one of the greatest games of 2021. I've got the expansion pass, so I'll be dropping into this every time I drop into Forza Horizon 5. I have a great time. And I actually missed the first Rally expansion, which was on Forza Horizon 1, because I think they stopped selling it at one point, or they delisted it. And so I'm excited to have this, but I know for some, this might not be the most exciting thing like the Hot Wheels expansion or the Lego ones. Jose, do you have any desire to drop back in, or do you have the expansion pass, or do you?
I don't have the expansion pass. I did buy Hot Wheels, which was awesome. I have zero regrets about that. And to answer your question, like I don't think I'm gonna fall into this one. Like the rally style of driving just isn't really my bag. But again, I'm not mad that they dropped it. I'm super happy. I know there are a lot of people that really love those levels where you're like in a mud and you're like in a Subaru and there's all kinds of like drift potential and stuff like that. That's just not what I'm really into. And honestly, I have so much to play right now. We'll talk about that more when we get to what we're playing. But it's cool, man. I like when they do for Horizon stuff, because Horizon is so much fun. And even if like I was gifted it or something like that, like I would still have a great time, because every time you jump, you just have a great time playing and finding stuff. And they always do a great job with their expansion. So I'm happy for it.
Bacon, any thoughts on the expansion, or did you play?
I did not get Hot Wheels.
Okay.
But I will get this, and then I'll probably end up getting Hot Wheels also. The rally part's definitely one of my favorites. I used to watch the Baja all the time when I was younger, and the big lifted trucks with all the suspension travel and all that.
Yeah.
It's actually more my bag than the road racing down there, but looks incredible as Forza Horizon 5 looks. So is this also still going to be cross-gen, or is this next-gen only expansion? Thought I heard that on Twitter, so I can't confirm.
I don't know.
But
that's a good question. But you're right. There was parts of this trailer where I was like, man, that kind of looks
Right, it
real.
looks
Like I was like, is
right,
that a
you're
real
just all-
shot? Especially with the dust. So shout out to Forza Horizon. Just keep producing amazing games, amazing expansions. Playground Games does not miss. Shout out to Grant Orban over there. He's follows me on Twitter. We got to pick him up, Jose. We got to pick him up. We got to get him on this show.
People want to ride too. Pick them up.
We got it. Seriously, that should be our first interview. But moving on to coming soon to Game Pass, and this is for probably the first part of March and end of February. Coming to Xbox Game Pass, this was by Megan Spur, good old community lead over at Game Pass. Available today, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later. This was a few days ago. Atomic Heart, Cloud, Console, PC, in a mad utopian world, take part in explosive encounters. Adapt your fighting style to each opponent, use your environment, and upgrade your equipment to fulfill your mission. Not gonna lie, you guys, I don't think that's the best write-up for a game. Doesn't really tell much of anything, so gotta do better than that, guys. Coming soon, Merge and Blade, Cloud, Console, and PC. This is an addictive fantasy puzzler and a massive auto battler in the world's first puzzle auto battler game. I have no idea what that means. Soul Hackers 2, Cloud, Console, and PC, February 20th. Explore a supernatural RPG with stylish summoners, dark dungeons lurking under a cyberpunk Japan. That sounds way cooler than Atomic Heart. F1 22 console and PC with EA Play on March 2nd. This is an F1 racing game. That's all you need to know about that. The latest and greatest. And then coming on March 3rd, Long Dynasty, available day one on Game Pass, Cloud Console, PC. Long Dynasty is a dramatic, action-packed story of a nameless Melissa soldier fighting for survival in a dark fantasy version of the later Han Dynasty, where demons plague the three kingdoms. Players fight off deadly creatures and enemy soldiers using swordplay based on the Chinese martial arts, attempting to overcome the odds by awakening the true power from within. Take a note right there, Atomic Heart. That is a game description if I ever heard one right there. And then there are also game updates to Flight Simulator, a Game Pass Ultimate Perks. Go get a pack for Apex Legends and Multiverses. And leaving February 20th, so in 5 days, these games will no longer be available on Game Pass. Alien Isolation, one of Jose's favorite. Crown Trick, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Far, Changing Tides, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, Madden NFL 21. That's fine, you guys, because Madden 22 is on it. Conveniently leaving as the second one comes out on everywhere else but Xbox. Octopath Traveler is leaving Game Pass. You can still buy these games, of course, but they will no longer be on Game Pass, guys. I'm thinking all of us are going to be checking out Long. Let's save the Atomic Heart talk for later. Jose, anything stand out to you, or are you just going to be playing you're just going to be, let's go on another tale. Let's go on another mission. What does he say? Let's go on. What does he say?
I don't know.
We need to go on another mission.
I am going to definitely check out Atomic Heart as soon as I finish Hogwarts Legacy. It does look rad. It reminds me of, like, I've heard someone describe it like BioShock, and I love the BioShock game, so I'm excited to play that. I don't think it's a super long play. And then I wasn't originally super into Wolong. Like, I mean, I thought it looked beautiful, and I'm sure it was going to be great. But man, the more I've heard about it, and I was actually talking to Jay Biz a couple days ago, it looks pretty rad, man. So I might definitely at least check that one out. For the record, also, I didn't love Alien Isolation. I liked Alien Fireteam Elite. Isolation, it was very creepy, and it was really cool that it was like true to the first movie, but there's like really not a big fighting mechanic. It's mostly just hiding, which I didn't love. So, I think it's a great month. It's a cool time right now, but we're really just getting ready for the end of March. So, and hopefully another Xbox Direct to talk about Starfield sometime soon. I know we haven't mentioned that, but waiting for that.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that in a second. Bacon, save your Atomic Heart talk, because I know you got a lot, but I'm assuming just Wolong.
Wolong and probably Soul Hackers. A lot of people are pretty.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks cool, and I actually really like that the game art right there. But is it going to be too anime Japan
probably
RPG for me?
Persona looking, yeah. Leaving, this is really weird to see Alien Isolation, because I'm pretty sure that's the very first game I saw when the very first time I logged into Game Pass, and I think it's been there ever since.
No, I think it left and came back actually a little bit. Bacon. It did. I'm pretty sure it did. So it might be back.
It's a sad day. And then Octopath Travel and Square Enix making their decisions again. Octopath is not available on the PS5. It's available on Xbox and Game Pass, but Octopath Traveler 2 will be available on PlayStation, not available on Xbox. Make that make sense for me, fellas.
I hear
try really hard to make that make sense.
I hear that they're not connected. So it doesn't matter if you played the first one going into the second one. So that could be one reason. But you're right. I think it's weird.
Do we ever wonder, with all that news coming out, that Square Enix is having trouble making money and Square Enix is having trouble staying afloat?
Sony can have Square Enix. I don't care.
I guess. Take it. Pick them up.
Guys, that has been the Xbox news for the week. Unless there are any other topics that you guys wanted to talk about, are we good? Speaking of random topics to talk about, Jose, I did want to bring this up to you. It's February 23rd. Are you still confident in your March Starfield release, or are we getting nervous here? Because I'm going to be honest, you guys, unless this thing is shadow dropping or they're playing at the end of the month, here's what could happen, Jose. They will have an event randomly mid-March, and then it releases at the end of the month. Do I think that's plausible? Maybe. But would I rather them take the time they need? Absolutely. Guys, we're running out of time. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Next week, by the time we record, we will be in March. Doesn't feel like it because it's 3 degrees outside and we're just going to continue to get this hot caca storm, snow, blizzard mess. Chipotle's camera just went off. But I'm getting a little concerned about, we don't have a release date for Starfield and we don't have a release date for Forza Motorsport. Jose is gone. Bacon, or do you think we're going to see Starfield sooner? Or I have no problem. I like, at this point, I don't even care. Like, if it needs to be delayed, do you think they should just tell us already? Like, they're running out of time. Either way,
I think they should be, or do they like the virality of all the conversation going on about it? I was also a Marcher that I believe I'm going to have to adjust that and probably move it back to September now that I think about it. Would I love it in March? Yeah, I would definitely love it in March, but I mean, I have a lot to play right now, so not like I can't stay busy, but I really,
just think,
really want to play Starfield.
Like, so here are the three things we could potentially play if it came out in March. We have Atomic Heart, which I do want to play, and I do want to. We'll talk about that in a second. Wolong. Is Wolong going to connect with us? Is it going to be worse, than
it's Team Ninja, bud? Team Ninja.
Yeah, exactly. So I hear that's going to be tough. And then Starfield, of course. But no, I forgot. Resident Evil 4 comes out March 23rd or 24th, I believe. So, that's a must play for me.
You know how I felt about Resident Evil 2? Am I going to want to play Resident Evil 4? I need your honest.
Wait, you didn't finish Resident Evil 2? Was it too scary for you?
No, it wasn't scary. I can't kill any of the freaking zombies, and it really aggravates the hell out of me that I can put 15 rounds into one of them and he gets right back up.
No, you can kill them. When you kill them, you'll see blood come out.
It's like, that's when they're dead. Game.
But they do come back. No, here's what you need to do. You don't have to kill every single one. You need to run past things. If you don't need to kill them, if you can just get around them. That's a part of Resident Evil's mechanics, is just not killing every zombie at all and conserving your ammo and only using it for certain boss fights or encounters. What you should be doing is just running past. If he's not phasing you, run right past him. If there's, you got to get from point A to point B, use the guide. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It can be frustrating because they do take like, if you try to kill one and aren't getting headshots, it's going to take shots. But you can absolutely kill the zombies, the normal zombies, for sure. Did you run into Mr. X?
I got all three of the trophies,
just run from him.
I got all three of the trophies and moved out of the main lobby into the area on the right of the building, and
you got
stuck in some offices there. And I'm just like, why don't these things die? I can stab them, I can shoot them, I can set them afire, and none of them are dying.
They should die. There are going to be rooms where you're backtracking. Like, if you're going back a lot, kill them. And then there's going to be a point where things are going to change, and I don't want to spoil it, but you'll have like a different enemy to deal with.
Maybe I need to delete it and re-download it because my game must be broken because I can't kill any of these things. I can't kill any of them.
All right, drop it down to easy. Like, just, there's no shame in dropping the difficulty. Chipotle, guys, breaking news. We have no idea what happened to Chipotle Bear. His screen is black. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's here. What is the yellow dot? User is experiencing some connection issues, but recording is being saved locally. Bacon, do you think we should just pause it right here and try to get him back in?
Probably, because I'm assuming he wants to talk. But let's find a nice break point for the edit. And
well, no, we can jump into what have we been playing and or watching, because we're going to jump into cinema, and he hasn't played it yet. Talk to me about Atomic Heart. Give me your impressions. I will say I'm a little concerned about this game because I saw right after you started, the next day after it came out, it was a 67 gigabyte update, which basically means, hey, here's the new game re-downloaded. You just have to re-download the new build of this entirely new game. And I've seen some technical issues from Colt Eastwood on Twitter saying some parts are now broken. This one might be one where I'm glad I didn't jump into right away because it sounds like they're having some technical issues, and I'm going to wait to play it. So give us your impression. No spoilers, of course, of Atomic Heart.
For starters, Atomic Heart, and I see where the BioShock vibes are coming from. The world, what's going on in the world, the huge buildings, the Russia winning and taking over everything, looks absolutely phenomenal, especially on PC. the dialogue is some of the worst I have ever experienced in a video game. If we're being real, I was making fun of Forspoken's dialogue. I have to keep that same energy right
just
here.
as bad.
It's almost like it was poorly interpreted in the sound studio, and like almost like it was decoded or whatever. I'm losing my brain here. Just the way that it's delivered, the main character is just dry. He's just speaking. There's no emotion in his voice. It's very, very frustrating to me that that's how this game turned out. But the big issue I have with it is it makes me nauseous. I don't know if it is the FOV, the camera shake. I don't know if there's a setting I can go in and turn off. But the first night playing it, I almost threw up. Like I was playing something in VR, and I cannot explain it. I've never had this before. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'm tired. I need to go take my contacts out, go to bed, come back tomorrow. I came back tomorrow, same thing. And I haven't heard anybody else speaking about getting sick or getting nauseous, but I really am having a problem with that. And then I got to a spot about 2 hours in. I'm in combat. I run out of ammo, and I pull my fireman's axe out, and I'm holding it, and I'm hitting the swing button, and I'm hitting the swing button, and I'm still just holding this thing. And I get mobbed by these dudes, and I must have hit trigger 20 times, and it didn't move. So it was completely glitched, completely bugged. So I set it aside. I will come back to it in a month or two when they get the patches and get all this stuff ironed out. Because I don't want to hate the game, but right now I hate the game in the state that it's in. They can't fix that voice.
You're on PC, right?
Right. They can't fix the voice. I don't know if that was an intentional design decision to have him speak like a robot. Maybe he is a robot, and that's how he's supposed. I don't know the payoff at the end, but you'll see yourself when you sit in the car just talking. You're like, this is awful. But that's my. But it looks beautiful.
Just to give some context too, I forgot to share this earlier. The review roundup all over the place. This is coming from Shinobi's tweet. Shack News gave it a 9. PSX Brazil 9. PC Games N 8. Dextero 8. IGN 8. PS Universe 7.5. Game Mag 7. Press Start 6.5. GameSpot 6. Well Played 5.5. Games Radar 5. Twin Finite 2 out of 5, Gamer Rant, 2 out of 5, Metacritic, 75, Open Critic, let me see, I just want to make sure, is 74.
72. Okay.
74 now.
The two people I listen to in any game review are ACG and Skillup.
Meta,
and usually
72 down. Yeah.
Usually ACG and Skillup are fairly similar. ACG recommends the game.
He loved it.
Skillup says stay away from it.
Yeah, he said I don't recommend it. Very bizarre.
I've never been in this situation, so I'm glad I have Game Pass and I could try it. But those two guys are usually pretty darn correct, and with their taste, it's
I've
a weird
seen them
one,
be
guys.
off a little bit too. But yeah, for sure, weird one. Glad it's on Game Pass. I will get to it, but I have a feeling with the technical issues, I'm gonna wait a little bit, and I have no problem waiting. But I do want to play it. Like I've seen a lot of pros with the cons there. Jose, any thoughts on Atomic Heart, or do you want to?
Well, I wanted to ask Bacon. So you've only played it on PC, or you've also played it on the Xbox? I'm just curious if there was a difference.
I played it on PC because I want to try to ray tracing and highest ultimate, and it is a substantially better visual experience, I assume. Okay. I could download it on there and see if the camera shake. It's a good idea. I might do that to see if you'll see it when the camera's. It's almost like it's attached to his head when he's moving. Things are just jumbling all around the screen. It's absolutely wild.
Interesting.
But I'll try it on Xbox actually now to see if it's the same thing.
Cool. No, that's all. I'm like you, Dan. I'm excited to play it. I'm not going to play it right away because there's some other stuff going on, but I'll definitely check it out. It looks. I mean, I always liked the trailer since I first saw it. So,
Bacon, I just want to ask you anything else that you've been playing as well. Oh yeah, you've been playing Ori. What's up with Will of the Wisp? Have you not played that, or are you just
I played it? Oh. I told you I was going to take that to my desert island. But speaking about that and thinking about that, I was like, man, what am I taking to my desert island? I started thinking about Ori, and I'm like, I love that game. So I went onto my achievements list to see how I did on that game. I have so many achievements left to clean up. So I'm sitting there going, you know what I should do? I started that game over on hard, and I'm like, let's do this. It is still...
You're getting destroyed, huh?
Oh, dude. There's an achievement for getting through without dying any, and I've died over 200 times in this playthrough. So, and then there's another one for not using any of the shard upgrades, and I'm like, how could anybody beat this game without upgrading anything? I know Randolph Randall Thor did it. But I am not apologetic in the least bit, and I'm going to fire it up when we're done with this podcast and keep playing because it is such a fantastic game. My brother's like, "Hey, why don't you play what's not Silk Song?
Chica Island.
No, what's that other platformer that Silk Song's coming out? It's the first
Hollow
one.
Knight.
Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I need to get to that too.
I tell you what, I'll play Hollow Knight because he's only got 4 hours in Ori Will of the Wisp also. I said I'll play Hollow Knight if you play Ori again because he's like, that game's only jumping around. So hopefully I can talk him into playing one while I'll play Hollow Knight and finish it. So yes, Ori.
Amazing. By the way, Bacon, you know who beat that game on hard?
You?
This guy right here.
Yeah.
It's like one of the very rare achievements. And you know who got 1,000 out of 1,000 on Ori and the Blind Forest? Who did do a run where he did not die?
You didn't die. How? That's impossible.
This guy. That's one of
my fall off.
You know what? That's like one of my crowning achievements was beating the. I think I did. Have to turn off my Xbox or quit out, but still, I did it. I have 1,000 out of 1,000 in the original Ori and the Blind Forest. That's probably my crown jewel of all achievements. The more I think about it, that's crazy. So give me some credit there.
That was my ultimate plan for this playthrough. Was
you can't do it. Yeah, you can't do it.
Literally 3 minutes in, I hit some vine and died.
Yeah,
and I'm
you're
like,
dead.
Well,
yeah,
there goes
that's
that.
the worst.
So.
That's the worst. Yeah, no. And even if you try to quit it, like they changed it to where that doesn't work. Because I remember looking it up. So, guys, I'll jump into what I've been playing. Like I mentioned earlier, I am playing Elden Ring again for the 4th time, trying to get every achievement, and I am having a blast. I'm already down into the Nokron City down there. The meteor I just went through. The toughest boss I had a problem with so far was Radon. I'm not going to lie. Up to that point, I was destroying bosses. Haven't even used a summon yet, guys. I haven't used my Mimic tier. I haven't had anybody come and distract. I've just been going one-on-one J-Biz style defeating bosses. And Radon, he was just too much. Solo, he's just too powerful. He'd kill me in like 2 hits. So I had to have the guys spam a little bit. But to be fair, like if you watch my clip, I don't know where it is saved on my computer. I basically did solo him because he was just destroying those guys, and I got him down very low. It's that 2nd stage, you guys. He goes into, he's unstoppable. So I'm loving my time with Elden Ring. Cannot wait to jump back into that. But sadly, I don't know why, I'm playing Destiny 2, you guys, and I'm trying to finish my season pass. I'm like level 90. I've got 5 days before it expires, and I'm like, I'm going to finish this thing because I wanted these armor pieces, the aesthetics of them. So I've just been grinding bounties. I've been going to the robot, getting my weapons bounties and going to the earth and just doing stupid stuff like that. I play multiplayer and PvP. And I'm like, why does this game suck so bad? Why does Destiny 2's PvP suck so bad? Oh, because it's horribly unbalanced. Everyone's doing these random powers. They should just give everyone the same weapons, same powers, and balance it out. But that's never going to happen because that's what makes Destiny unique. But Bacon, I don't know why I'm still playing that game. And then the last thing I'm playing, I've also been chipping away at Hi-Fi Rush. I'm trying to get through my normal run and get a few spare achievements for like breaking shields. I finally figured out I had no idea this move where you parry and then call in your teammate. I didn't do any of those, so I've been getting those in. I tried to do the hidden doors, and I got to the 4th one, and you have to do this one where you dodge and then counter with your teammate. So pressing, I don't know what it is for you guys, but calling in your teammate right after it. And the timing has to be so perfect. Like it's so frustrating. I'm like, all right, I give up on these doors. I was going to try to do all of them, but I'm not going to do it anymore. But as I'm playing that game again, wow, what a special game. I cannot wait to get to those final levels, building up to the end there and hear, you are the perfect drug, the perfect drug, the perfect drug. Don't want to get a DMC, but a DCMA strike right there. So Jose, what have you been playing?
So I've actually only been playing one thing. So as of basically after
we need to go on another adventure. We need to find my wand.
After we finished recording last week, I did play Hogwarts Legacy, and I played it literally the whole weekend because I was bedridden. And then even this week, every night after me and Victoria watch shows or whatever, and she goes to bed, like with Hogwarts Legacy, I have been having a blast. And I'll be honest, like I am a Harry Potter fan. Like I've liked the stories and I've watched all the movies and we're reading them now with Penelope and stuff, but I was never like a super, like I would never say I'm a Harry Potter fan like I am a Marvel fan or an Xbox fan. or Ninja Turtle fan, like it's not high on the list, but the game is rad, dude. And I think what they did was so smart. The game takes place 200 years before any of the stories that we've seen in theaters or in movies, and so it really gave a lot more freedom to, like, you're not looking for Dumbledore, you're not looking for Harry Potter. There's definitely some nods to like the current stories with what was that? But dude, I mean, beyond that story piece of it, the story is okay. I mean, the story is like it's building now, and I'm doing a lot more of the main missions, and it's a decent story. But the gameplay loop is super fun, man, and there's a ton of variety, and I think one of the most well done things. If you want a really good review, actually, you should read Ains's review from Season Gaming. He just dropped it this week, and I think it's very fair and very thorough, and also not super long as a read. But the biggest thing that he championed, and I cannot agree more, is that I think one of the hardest things when you have games where you have like magical powers or spells or whatever it is, even things like BioShock, is if either the game has to have 4, right? Because then it's just you assign them to your 4 basic function buttons, or you have some weird convoluted system where you're trying to swap them out and it doesn't work very well, and like that becomes real cumbersome. We actually talked about that recently with oh god, what was the game where it was like you had to keep switching back the powers and it just wasn't done very well and it was a giant pain. I'll think of the game. They do such a good job of it. Like, it's so seamless to create a couple of like sets of spells that you can swap between for different things you're doing. And that's not one. And the other part is like it's a super cool puzzle game. Like I've always loved puzzles my whole life, and I'll be honest, if you don't like puzzles, if you don't like that mystery, either get a guide or don't pick this up, because there is a very hefty amount of puzzles. I will say the one tiny complaint that I have from the game is that there's a lot of like little stuff. Like, if I don't ever go for 1,000 out of 1,000. Like, that's not my life. But like, man, some of them where you're like, there are 100 of these like Merlin trials that you have to find and do. That's very tedious in my mind.
I guess I better go over to Professor Gallick's class.
Sure. I guess if that's what you think Harry Potter sounds like. But no,
what house?
What house are you in? I chose Ravenclaw. They are the academics, right? They are the ones who focus on the history.
I wanted to be the loyal ones, the silly name one, but with the Wolverine. Yeah, Hufflepuff. Horrible name, but cool mascot. Greatest. Did you take a test? I guess there's like a test you can take and tie your account in.
They ask you like 4 questions, and depending on how you answer them, they say, here's which house we think you should be, but then you can choose whatever house. So if it says like you should be Slytherin and you're like, I don't want to be Slytherin, they're the bad guys, you can just pick whatever house you want. But man, the world is really well built out. Like, Hogwarts is huge, and like I've started to learn like actually now where to go in the building and stuff. But like when you first start, dude, it feels like a giant maze and there's just so many places to go. And then when you finally get out of Hogwarts and you can explore like the world around and the town, it's very cool, man. And what the way I described it, because I was talking to Jabiz about it, was it's basically like Elden Ring, but built for like kids to like middle school age. Like, it's not scary or bloody, but it has a really cool dodge mechanic that's really, really helpful in battles. And like there's some nuances to the battles where like you kind of pick the spells you like to just mess with, but then there are also enemies that are like immune to certain types and you have to be able to switch. So I really liked it, man. I think it's definitely worth picking up if you're into the lore and stuff like that. It's a big game. Like, I as of last night, I think I'm 32 hours in, and I've completed like 71% of the stuff. So I'll probably.
Are you going to go for the Merlin trials? Is there an achievement for all 100 of that caca?
There is an achievement for all 100, and I'm absolutely not going to do that. I've done 51 of them, and that's enough to complete like the Merlin challenges. Like, I don't know how to explain it, like a screen of the challenges. I just got that last night, and I'm basically done. Unless they're right there and they're easy to grab, I'll do that, but I'm not going to go find them all. But it's cool, man. And again, if that's what you want, and if that's your bag, go have fun. You could easily pump in 60, 70 hours into this game and do all that stuff. And I'm sure there are also guides if you want to go that route. But honestly, like, I just like exploring, and it's very seamless to like, now that I have a broom and I have a hippogriff, which is kind of like a giant bird horse thing.
A what?
Hippogriff. You can Google that, or you can try to pantomime it like you've been pantomiming all the other things as I'm talking. It's very beautiful, and I am not a screen snob like Dan is, right? And I do like my refresh rate, but I'm not like Bacon where I'm like at 240 at these massive sizes.
I need 240 frames, 4K.
But when I was in bed for the weekend, I was playing on our older TV that we got like when we got married, and it's still a great Samsung TV. It's in the wall in our bedroom. I took my Xbox up there, and it still looks great, and I had no problems with it. But I definitely noticed like visual stuttering and lagging and stuff like that because it's old technology. And then the second I was able to come back downstairs and put it on,
VR,
dude,
baby.
it has been just butter smooth and beautiful. And really, like I have no complaints. Like it's every time I have to pay $70 for any game, it hurts a little bit because that's just not the number I've paid my whole life for them, you know. But I definitely think I've got my bang for my buck. I mean, at 31 hours, I basically paid $2 an hour. Yeah. What can I do for $2
exactly.
an hour?
I just paid $70 for gas. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Quick question, Chapo.
Yeah.
Do you feel you've been shorted by not getting the PS5 version to get the exclusive mission and cloak you could have got?
I don't know what the cloak does, but like in the movies, the cloak was to make you invisible, and I already have that spell to make myself invisible, and you can make a potion to make yourself invisible. So no, I don't feel like I've missed out on the PlayStation version. But again, for people that are super into the life and you know, when you talk about like even the collector's editions, it's been one of the cooler collector's editions you can get where it's like a book with a floating wand in it. You know, I'm not going to get that collector's edition, but I think that's cool, man. I think it's cool to do something different for them. So definitely, if you're into it, check it out. And if you're kind of interested, wait for a sale. I'm sure, like especially like you think like Black Friday or something next year, you'll get a great deal. And it's a cool game. It'd be fun to play around the holidays too. So yeah, that's what I've been playing, man.
Will you be doing a review for us, Jose?
Yeah, I will also do a review. I've been capturing some pretty key stuff, good and bad, right? So I can make it fair and stuff. But overall, cool. It's a great review. I mean, I don't know quite what number I'd give it yet. I want to finish the story and stuff, but I definitely
would you you already said you recommend it now, so very good.
Yeah.
By the way, I looked up a hippogriff. It is a front part of a hawk, and then the rear is a horse. So you're riding around flying.
Yes. And you know what I would say the other perk about this is that a lot of the games that I like to play, I can't play in front of the girls because it's like they're either too bloody or there's too much cussing or there's sex and stuff like that.
That's what I like about Hi-Fi Rush.
And this is a game that I 100% can play in front of them. In fact, one of the days when I was in the bed, like they hung out for about an hour and just watched me like run around and do things and do spells and fight bad guys and even some of the cutscenes. Spellaramus. Yeah, like it's been cool, man. So I definitely recommend it if you're a parent too.
Is that where that originated from? Because I only know Spell and Spellaramus from when we used to play beer pong, and I thought that was just someone thought of that.
That's changed. Did they
take that? Did they take that from Hogwarts and Harry Potter? Is that where that originated? Spellaramus.
No, that's but it's Expelliarmus, not Expelliarmus. And it like takes their wand from them. It's a spell you can learn. So anyway, it's cool, man.
By the way, shout out to speaking of Bubble Boy. I have not heard back from him on his Darkness Retreat, so hopefully he's okay. You guys, I haven't heard about Aaron Rodgers either, so hopefully they're coming back, guys. That is what we have been playing and just been playing. Let's talk about The Last of Us episode. Was it 5 or 6? Which one was? Jose is muted.
6. It was episode 6. I'm sorry.
Episode 6. So here's what I'll say about this. This entire segment this whole episode completely different from the game. And I don't want to go too much into it. So to both of you, I know you haven't gotten this far. I can't say much because it was very different. And so I don't. So
can you just tell me, did you like the episode though? The show?
I mean, I'm enjoying the show, but it goes back, and I've heard Ains talk about this with some other people, and it's a great show. But I do think the game is better. And if anything, I think this is making me appreciate the game more. Not necessarily the full game. I don't think it's a masterpiece because I think the gameplay could be really sucky, and you're doing a lot of watching. You're not really playing much of The Last of Us for a huge part of it. But the whole story, I always enjoyed the story, but I am so interested to see what you think as this closes up. And Bacon, what are your thoughts? Of course, no spoilers. Why are you playing Ori? No offense. Finish The Last of Us, Bacon. It's not. Good God, finish The Last of Us, man. We're almost at the end. I can't take this anymore. You promised me you were going to finish it. We've only got like 3 episodes left, Bacon. So you've got less than 3 weeks to finish.
My wife was off on Monday and took away a lot of my playtime. Relax.
Relax, man.
I thought it was a really good episode again. It just makes me wonder how much bad stuff Joel and his brother did. Because I keep referencing that a lot, and I haven't seen any of that in the game yet. So maybe I missed some clips or some newspaper clippings.
No, they don't really clarify that in the game either.
Right. So, it just seems like he's the worst thing on the planet, and he has a lot to atone for.
Yes. So we just know that between Outbreak Day and present day, Joel killed a lot of people to survive. And I think any of these people who are survived at this point probably did some shady stuff to survive. So I don't know if you'll ever get those answers unless they do a flashback.
And we know it's not the worst thing on the planet. That is, in fact, the cauliflower sandwich at Chick-fil-A right now. So you don't have to worry about that.
But yeah, it was good to see, Ellie break down and basically lambaste Joel for his plan to send him off and do what his plan was, not trying to do spoilers. And it was good to see Joel make the decision he made. I knew it was going to happen, but because I knew they couldn't deviate that much from the game. But really good episode. I'm happy for Tommy and his wife and his expecting child.
Yeah, I like Tommy's wife. She was good in the show.
Right, real smart. And then and for Ellie to finally figure out what she knew, that something had happened to Joel's daughter, or
you find out that's what she finds out about.
Still, really well done. And HBO being HBO again. So
yeah, absolutely. Jose, what were your thoughts? I really can't wait till you guys finish the game so I can talk to you about the comparisons here. Go ahead, Jose.
I mean, I like it all, man. And I know we've talked about, I kind of wish we saw more clickers. I just like seeing the clickers because I think they're cool looking and stuff. But no, I think the story's cool. I think it was cool that they were able to build this town that kind of survived. Like, you have to imagine that would kind of happen, that there would be some communities that would actually be smart and use resources and pool together and stuff. I mean, we see that in a lot of apocalyptic shows. I also really liked the old couple in the cabin.
Yeah, shout out to the Native American
lady
couple.
Who was like, she's like, did you make him soup? And she's like, yeah, we were waiting. Like,
very nice. He was hungry.
Why did you shoot him? The gun's over there.
I'm not gonna go get up there.
They were great. But here, I got to ask you though about that, because Colin and his brother and Micah and Dustin, I think we're talking about this on Sacred Symbols Plus. They were saying, do you find it weird that they were so overweight? Like, do you think that they could be in that kind of physical stature, dealing with the apocalypse and all that, or with the lack of food resources? And Colin was saying like
they knew how to hunt for themselves.
Well, yeah, and Colin was arguing, well, like everything in the show is for a reason. He said that really stood out to him, and I'm on the other hand like thinking, well, maybe they just sit all day. So if they're not sitting, if they're sitting all day and not doing much, and
I didn't see an Xbox in the background, so I assume they're just sitting there.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I guess, but yeah, the lack of food though, do you think you would lose weight, like regardless, even if you're not doing much?
For some of us, it's just genetics.
I was going to say, but if that was the case, I'd probably be all right.
Okay, so not a big deal. Got it. But yeah, shout out to them. That was my favorite part.
Did you hear about the error that you can see in the episode when they're crossing a bridge?
The crew,
yeah. There's some.
You can see the crew in one of the shots.
In the bottom left part of the screen,
crossing the first bridge.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say.
Was it the top-down view where they were crossing?
Oh, close. To go back. It was like a side.
I don't really care.
Anyway,
I didn't notice
when they went to Boulder. Or essentially,
I was going to ask you, what did you think of the campus thing? So here's the thing: I don't want to spoil it, but I guess you kind of already know. In the game, to me, it was supposed to be Boulder. Like, you'll see some architecture that stands out, and I'm like, this is CU Boulder, baby, go Bucks!
Yeah. And I wanted to be CU Boulder. That's what I was wondering about. Victoria was like, "Are we going to see like Boulder?" But it clearly is some other place.
But then in the game or in the show, he says it's off I-25. What's off of I-25 and has a bighorn sheep kind of logo?
Harvard of the West, Greeley, Colorado.
No, the University of Colorado State University is kind of off I-25.
Never heard
of the Rams, and that campus is similar. So they kind of, obviously in the game, it is also a fictitious university, but I feel like in the game it's
East Colorado.
Yeah,
University.
I think it is Eastern Colorado in the game too. But a little bit of that plays out differently, but you end up in the same spot with, I don't want to spoil it, but Yeah, I thought that was cool, Jose. I'm glad you brought that up because in the game you'll really like that. Because to me, I'm like, this is CU Boulder, like with the architecture. In this game, I felt like the architecture screamed more CSU, but Eastern Michigan / Greeley. Go ahead, Jose. Any closing thoughts?
No, just 3 episodes left. Excited to see how it's going to wrap up.
I'm excited to see how it wraps up.
And I still am going to play the game. I'm still happy to play the game. I'm not abandoning that. I just I think it's great, man. And again, like we've said many times, I just think it's cool that they're doing really cool adaptations for games, and I hope it continues.
Bacon.
I totally agree with everything said in this segment.
Gotcha. Let's close the show like we always do with the best food we had this week. Oh, bacon.
No, we got
nope. Yeah, we got to save it. We're going to save it, or are you going to do it? Are we waiting for Bubble Boy, or do you really want to open? Did Bubble Boy open?
He's already opened his and told me what he got.
No, open it. Yeah.
All right, Bacon, mute yourself and start opening it while I tell you the best food I had this week. The best food I had this week, Jose, it just happened tonight. I got 2 of those big old breakfast burritos from Burrito Express. You dog. So good. Got it for Ali. It's kind of becoming a tradition because Thursday nights is swim lesson night. Yep. So we have to get something quick and easy to make sure they eat something fast, get them to swimming lessons, get the Burrito Express, get the kids a couple of cheeseburgers and Happy Meals from Mickey D's. Get some swimming in, come record TNC. So that was the best food this week. Also want to give a shout out to Allie. She made this delicious grilled chicken with salad. It was fantastic. I'm not going to lie. I dipped it into some Chick-fil-A sauce. I felt like I was having some grilled nuggets from Chick-fil-A. So shout out to Allie as well. That was a good meal. Jose, what about you?
Best food I had this week, a couple. We had Domino's on Friday following my little surgery.
Did you get the pan?
Yep.
You got it. Yes, dude. You got to get the pan. Just trust me. Always get the pan.
I think I got hand tossed, so I need to get pan next time. I'm sorry. I apologize. But delicious. We definitely polished off that pie, which was great. And then we also had some Noodles and Company this weekend, which, man, I like Noodles.
What do you get?
What do you get? I get the Buffalo Mac. I like the Buffalo.
Is that the one with the pulled pork and the barbecue sauce on it with the jalapenos?
No, it's got a chicken fillet and then like sriracha sauce on it.
Oh, that sounds good too.
Or not a sriracha, a buffalo sauce. You know what I actually loved? I liked when they did the cheeseburger mac. That was my favorite one, but they don't have that on the menu anymore and they won't make it. So, and then the other thing is tonight we also had breakfast for dinner. We made some biscuits and gravy. And here's the cool part, little twist tonight. We accidentally did not get biscuits at the store. And so instead we used the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits as our biscuits for the biscuits and gravy.
Overload of flavors.
It was a lot, but it was also delightful. So shout out to the good old Martinez breakfast for dinner special. And with that, I will pass it over to Bacon. Bacon, talk to us what you're seing here. I'm excited. I've seen lots of cool stuff.
Bacon, tell us your food really quick. I'm sure it was like vegetables and chicken, so we can just skip that. Tell us about...
I've sent you my food. I went to the tavern in downtown Littleton and got a really cool restaurant bar, and I got a volcano
burger.
Bacon,
tell everyone what time you had dinner that day.
That was dinner. 4:30 roughly.
No, you sent us some pictures before 4:15. This was like 4 p.m. dinner. You got
like literally we dropped our dog off to get screened for doggy daycare when we're going out of town next month. And we had literally nothing else to do. We walked around downtown Littleton. We're like, let's just go eat. And so we went and ate. But yes, it was very, very early. But if you have a chance to go to the tavern in downtown Littleton, do it. It's pretty tasty.
Yeah. So Bacon, breaking news. He received his mystery box from Xbox. I believe I saw one of the things, and I think I might be jealous. So share what you've got. Just keep in mind, Bacon, it's a little blurry for us on our end, so we're not going to be able to see it clearly until I upload the video. But let's hear it. What did you get from your mystery box that Bubble Boy already opened? Didn't tell me what he got, but yeah, go ahead and tell us.
I'm pretty sure he and I got the exact same kit since they were ordered minutes apart. But it does come in a very nice bag. This little for giving gifts, very Xbox. Nice. Yes, that's very nice. That's worth $70 all in itself.
I thought that bag was a hoodie, and I was like, man, that's a sweet hoodie. Yeah, thankfully, it was just a bag. All right, let's continue.
So the T-shirt I got was the Coltrane
okay,
T-shirt.
That's pretty cool.
All right, that is a good one.
I like that one a lot, actually. That is very cool. That is a winner. That is a winner.
I also got a Halo gun tag, I believe it is. Clean sweep.
Okay. Keychain. Very nice. I like that as well, too.
And then I'm really excited about this pin. It is actually an OG Xbox One pin.
Oh,
yes,
man,
that is
with that one.
That is pretty damn good. But the real star of this show is the Master Chief and the pilot Esparza action
Fernando
figures.
Esparza?
Yes,
Oh,
action
man.
figures.
Cool.
Looks good. I'm gonna leave it in the box, never open
Very
it.
guys, jealous.
But that's worth $70. I feel like I got a good value.
That's cool, man. I like it.
Well, it was only 60, and then shipping was another 12. So.
You lucked out. The t-shirt is cool because that's like, you know, a little bit of a 90s style t-shirt, Jose, and then only real fans would be like, I know the Coltrane. That's pretty cool, man. You know, it's one of those. So
I like that.
Guys, this has been the Nerd Chat episode. What is this, 95 already, you guys?
95.
My gosh,
95.
we're approaching, closing in on 100 episodes. My name is Daddy D. Wally. You can follow me at Daddy D. Wally across all social media. You can follow the show at the Nerd Chat across all social media. Please continue to support us. Right into the show. Send us those comments on our videos. We truly appreciate every listen, every comment, all the engagement. Slide into our DMs. Chipotle Bear, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Chipotle_Bear. Having a lot of fun this week chatting with people and lots of cool with the gaming news. It's just fun to have everybody going back and forth. And honestly, like I know there's been a lot of like negativity around Twitter as a platform, but I'll tell you, at least in a lot of the gaming stuff that I'm in, a lot of positivity, man. I think a lot of support.
Yeah, if you drown out just the haters and there's a lot of cool people out there. I gotta agree with you.
There really are, man. And just a lot of people I think a lot like us, just good old people that have other jobs too, but love to do games and talk about games. So shout out to all those fun people. You can also find me on Instagram at Chipotle Bear. Haven't posted a lot there recently, just been real busy, but we'll get back to that. And hopefully back soon, streaming on Twitch at Chipotle Bear. Hopefully
we're gonna have another adventure. Better head
Let's
down
go on another adventure.
Professor Moldlick's room. I don't even.
I didn't say. Guess what my person's name is. I didn't tell you what my name is.
Is it randomly generated?
No, I chose it. It makes no sense, but I chose it.
No, I have no idea. Tell us.
His first name is Bro, and his last name is McNugget. That is his name.
Bacon, where can people find you? Speaking of nuggets.
Oh, you can find me XBacon Gaming on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, and Mike, get back into Mass Effect. I know you listen this long.
Amen.
As always, N7 Specters, see you online.
See you online.
See you online.
See you online.
That's where they're holding flag. Nothing like a bloodbath to start the day.
They call you Peacemaker.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill to get it.
The Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast, is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. The show was created by Daniel Walenzik, and you can follow him at Daddy D. Wally across all social media. The assistant to the co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear. The assistant to the co-host is Chance Siegel, and you can follow him at BubbleBoyN7. The intern to the assistant to the co-hosts is Jason Jarrett, and you can follow him at XBaconGaming. You can also follow the show at the Nerd Chat across all social media. And if you'd like to find out more about the show, visit nerdchatmedia.com.